Did you know that nearly 75% of people fear public speaking more than death? This fear holds many back from sharing their ideas and stories. But here's the kicker, even the most confident speakers were once in your shoes. They didn't become great overnight, they relied on feedback to improve. In fact, studies show that feedback can boost performance by 25% or more. So, why is feedback so important? It's simple. Without it, you're just flying blind. You might think your speech was perfect, but without outside opinions, you can miss critical areas for growth. This video will show you why feedback is essential for becoming a great speaker. In this journey, we'll explore the invisible mirror that feedback provides, how to turn criticism into confidence, and why your audience can be your best coach. You'll learn strategies to make feedback work for you, so you can transform into a powerful speaker. Get ready to unlock your potential, because amazing speakers are made, not born. Chapter 1: The Invisible Mirror. Why you can't see your own flaws. One of the biggest challenges in public speaking is realizing you're not as good as you think. It's tough to judge your own performance because, simply put, you can't see yourself from the outside. This is what psychologists call the self-serving bias, our tendency to favor positive self-perceptions. According to psychological science, most people overestimate their abilities by up to 30%. That's why feedback from others is crucial. Think of feedback as a mirror, reflecting what you can't see. When you rely on self-assessment, you miss out on those tiny details that make or break your performance. Maybe you speak too fast, or your body language doesn't match your words. You'd never know unless someone points it out. Here's a great example. In Harvard Business Review, a study showed that managers who received regular feedback improved their leadership skills by 28%. The same principle applies to speakers. Feedback helps you spot weaknesses and refine your strengths. Without it, you're just guessing what works and what doesn't. One strategy to overcome this is to seek feedback from a variety of sources. Ask your audience, mentors, or even peers. They'll see things you never could. And here's the kicker: don't just ask, "How is it?" Dig deeper. Ask, "What part of my speech was unclear?" or "Did I seem confident?" The more specific the question, the better the feedback. In short, feedback gives you an honest reflection of your abilities, helping you grow faster than you ever could on your own. Chapter 2: The Feedback Loop. Transform criticism into confidence. Now, let's talk about a game changer, turning feedback into a confidence booster. Most people think criticism is a confidence killer, but it doesn't have to be. Great speakers use feedback to fuel their self-esteem. How? By viewing criticism as a tool, not a threat. Think about this. A study by Gallup showed that employees who received regular feedback were 3 times more engaged than those who didn't. The same goes for speakers. When you know exactly what you need to work on, you're less anxious and more prepared. Here's a strategy: focus on the patterns in your feedback. If multiple people mention the same issue, like speaking too quickly, then you know that's an area to work on. By tackling that one thing, you start to improve, which naturally boosts your confidence. Improvement, after all, leads to competence, and competence leads to confidence. When Olympic athletes train, they constantly review their performances. Every little tweak makes a huge difference in the long run. The same is true for speakers. Each piece of feedback gets you one step closer to mastering your craft. And remember, even negative feedback can be positive. In his book Mindset, psychologist Carol Dweck explains that people with a growth mindset see criticism as an opportunity to learn, not a personal attack. So, instead of feeling defeated by feedback, embrace it. Know that it's pushing you toward your goal. Chapter 3: The Audience Advantage. Let your listeners be your mentors. Your audience is your best coach, whether they realize it or not. Most speakers overlook this simple truth: the people listening to you can teach you more than any textbook ever will. They're constantly giving you feedback, even if they're not speaking. You just need to know how to read it. Here's a fun fact: studies show that 93% of communication is non-verbal. That means your audience's body language, facial expressions, and even their fidgeting are signals you should pay attention to. Are they leaning in, smiling, or nodding? That's a good sign. But if they're checking their phones or shifting in their seats, you might be losing them. So, what's the strategy here? Start by developing the skill of reading the room. If you notice people looking bored or distracted, adjust your tone or energy. Maybe you need to engage them with a question or switch up your delivery style. These are real-time feedback opportunities you can use to improve your talk as you go. Here's an interesting tip: in talk like TED, Carmine Gallo highlights that great speakers often pause to assess their audience's reactions. Those pauses give the speaker time to recalibrate and keep the crowd engaged. If the audience seems restless, slowing down and making eye contact can bring them back in. But don't stop there. After the speech, ask your audience for direct feedback. You can be casual about it. Ask them what stuck with them or if any part of the speech felt unclear. This turns your listeners into mentors, helping you become better with every presentation. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more insights on becoming an amazing speaker. Chapter 4: Feedback Frequency. The power of repetition. Repetition is key when it comes to feedback. One-off feedback is useful, but the real magic happens when you make it a regular habit. If you're not getting consistent input, your growth will stall. That's why you need to build what I call a feedback routine. Here's a simple fact. In a study by the Journal of Applied Psychology, people who received feedback regularly improved their performance by 25% more than those who received it sporadically. So, just like practicing your speech, getting feedback should become part of your process. How do you make this a habit? After every presentation, whether it's a big keynote or just a quick team update, ask for feedback. Don't wait until you're preparing for the next big speech. By doing it immediately, everything is fresh in your audience's mind, and you'll get more detailed responses. One trick is to create feedback milestones. These are specific points in your progress where you stop and gather feedback to see how far you've come. This helps you measure your improvement over time. It's like having checkpoints on a journey. You'll know what's working and what still needs attention. You can also ask for feedback on different aspects of your speaking each time. 1 week, focus on your delivery. The next, focus on how clear your message was. This way, you're not overwhelming yourself by trying to fix everything at once. The more feedback you get, the faster you'll improve. And here's the best part: as you refine your skills, your confidence will grow too. You'll start to see tangible progress, and that makes every bit of effort worth it. Chapter 5: From Stage to Screen. Using video reviews for rapid growth. Watching yourself on video can feel awkward at first, but it's one of the fastest ways to improve. Recording your speeches lets you step outside yourself and view your performance objectively. In fact, this is a tactic used by top athletes and performers around the world. According to a study by the Journal of Experimental Psychology, reviewing video footage helps speakers improve faster because it allows them to catch subtle mistakes they wouldn't notice otherwise. For instance, you might think you're making good eye contact, but the video could reveal that you're staring at your notes more than the audience. A great strategy here is to create a self-review checklist. Watch your video and ask yourself, was my body language open? Did I use too many filler words? Was my pace too fast or too slow? By having specific questions to guide your review, you'll make the process more effective. In The Art of Public Speaking, Dale Carnegie emphasizes the importance of watching your non-verbal cues. Often, our gestures or expressions can contradict what we're saying, which confuses the audience. A video review lets you catch these moments and correct them. Also, pay attention to the energy of your delivery. Does it match the emotion of your message? A study from Yale University found that speakers who matched their tone and body language to their content were 20% more likely to engage their audience. If watching yourself feels too uncomfortable, start small. Record a short practice session and analyze that. Over time, you'll get used to it, and it'll become one of your best learning tools. If you enjoyed these insights and want to dive deeper into the world of public speaking, make sure to subscribe for more tips and strategies.